Well, welcome back to Forged by Failure. Today I'm going to do something new. I'm going to try a 5-minute overview of a recent battle I did. It's not going to be a complete battle report, but I'm going to aim to go through the uh, battle I played, what I played against, what I was trying to do, and how it worked out, and any quick lessons that any other Helsmiths enjoyers can take away from it. All right, let's get started. Okay, so the match I'm going to look at is obviously Helsmiths of the Shoot versus a Sylvaneth list. I played it for a local league, Old Man Winter's Grasp, out in Canada. And the battle plan we're playing was Noxious Nexus at 2,000 points. So my objectives going into this, obviously learn more about Helsmiths of the Shoot. Like I mentioned in my first video, I'm starting out with the army. I'm just trying to grasp the basic concepts of it and get games in and see how it plays on the table. I like to do things outside of the norm when I build armies and play games. So I'm testing the Scouting Force battle tactic, and as you'll see in the army list, it's a min squad size list. And the last point there, testing minimal units and see if they're usable. You're going to see some 5 model blunderbuss units, 5 model flame hurler units, and you're going to see a lot of hobgrots. All right. So if you're unfamiliar with the battle plan Noxious Nexus, you can see it on the left-hand side there. The armies are stacked right against each other, and you have the objectives, the red, the green, and the blue one. They don't count for the first turn, but they count second turn or second battle round onwards. And as you go through the battle, the red and the green count for 5 and 3 respectively. The blue only counts for 2. However, at the end of the battle, the blue counts for 10 points if you hold it. All right, now taking a look at the lists. For my list, you can see I was a 4 drop, going with the Demonsmith Cabal for the +1 to cast for Urktar if he had 3. And I took Master of the Pass and Scouting Force. Master of the Pass, like we talked about in the last video, seems to be popping up on a lot of well-performing lists. And I think it's because we have the ability to not only snipe out a hero with a lot of our shooting or combat with the Bull Centaurs, but also get units into neutral territory. Scouting Force, like I talked about, is something I was trying. So you can see in the list, Urktar, a bunch of Hobgrot Vandals, 4 of them, min squad Hurlers, mid squad blunderbusses ×2, and then some infantry and some Deathstreaker Torment Battery. The Torment and the Deathstreaker Rocket Battery. And then on the other side of the Sylvaneth, there was a Forest Folk list. Belthanos giving that run and charge to 3 units. Archrev, some Kurnoth Greatswords, the Spite Rider and Lancers, which were reinforced. Warsong Rev and the Spite Revs reinforced. I've highlighted the green for what I thought actually worked well for me. So Urktar is just a great utility piece, especially the Rampage with a 2d6 move. Hobgrot Vandals were key to this. You'll see in the deployment I needed to screen. Bull Centaurs did way more damage even with the 3-pack than I thought they would. It's my first time getting them out on the table. And then in the yellow, you can see that unfortunately the experimentation with min sizes and the efficiency of demonic power points for the blunderbusses, it didn't work out that well. I found that I was obviously trying to balance splitting between the 2 units or even spending that CP to give extra demonic power points. And Crucible's fight, while it worked out one time, I think I can try and find something better with that. On the Sylvaneth side, Belthanos was key to the list. The Spite Rider Lancers was a big brick of health that I had to chew through, so I had to commit a lot of Bull Centaurs and shooting to get it done, and it took me 4 turns to get through it. And then the Warsong Revenant was key because even when I give Urktar a ward, or I give the Infernal Cohort wards, it would reduce the ward and it would give out a ward on the other side. And I found for that player, the Spite Revenants were okay, but they weren't their best unit by far. So here we can take a look at the deployment. As you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3 Hobgrot units out front and then 1 to the side. The intention of the one on the left of the side was for it to run and then slowly work its way up to the blue, being in a position to control the blue objective at the end of the game and score me 10 extra points, which it did. Behind the Hobgrot screen, you can see I've got some infantry on the right-hand side in the cohorts, and then you've got, respectively, some blunderbusses, some hurlers, and then more blunderbusses with Urktar and the Centaurs in the back, as well as the guns. And you look across the board, you can see Belthanos, the Spite Riders, and Spite Revs, all on the line. As the player did outdrop me, they did choose to go first, and you see they wanted to come in and try and do as much damage as possible. What's not shown is that the Hobgrots did do their pregame move and provide an effective screen. So let's see what happened. Okay, so in the end, it wasn't a win, but it was a good test, that's for sure. So the opposing player, as they had lower drops than I, decided to go first and do as much damage as possible. They ran at me. They ran into the Hobgrot screen, killed a lot of the Hobgrots. I did get their scouting force with other units, and did keep the turn order for a while. And you can see that they were getting Restless Energy, which is aggressive battle tactic on me because they're right in my face, and scoring the objectives. So they did control the red and the green from a fairly stable perspective throughout the game. Myself, I did master the pass and a good crackback on the end of the first battle round. I took down Belthanos, half of the Spite Rev brick, as well as the the Spite Rider Lancer brick, and the Spite Revenants brick complete. But at the end, I just didn't have enough combat power to push through and remove enough of his units. The other player controlled the middle and controlled the red objectives far more than me, and then I did control the blue at the end, you can see, for an extra 10 points as well as the 2 points it gives. So in the end, it was a relatively close-ish game. The double turn did bail me out. I think the score would have been worse if I didn't take that double near battle round 4. However, that's the key observations for this is, number one, there's a reason Intercept and Recover is a great battle tactic for Helsmiths. I took a look back on it, and I found that had I taken that tactic, I definitely probably would have got 5, maybe 10, as there's very little left of his army on the board at the end of the game. Blunderbuss efficiency, I knew that it's more efficient to put them in a reinforced unit. I wanted to try and see if they could run around and be useful as 5 model units. I don't think so. I think you have to reinforce the blunderbuss. Not only does it give you more shots, what I found is that I was deadly afraid of any of the mortal wound AoE spells that the other player had. So, they had the D3 splash on a bad D3 roll. And if that hits a 5 model unit without a ward, you could be looking at 3 to 2 models gone. And that's a lot of your firepower gone right off the hop. And you're either spending rallies, you're using CP, or you're trying to even get demonic power points. It's just not efficient. So that experiment comes to an end, and that will be reinforced in the next game. Centaurs. So I think they can operate in 3 or the reinforced 6 model formations. It really depends on how much damage you need to do. It was funny running 3 of them into that reinforced brick of Spite Rider Lancers, and they almost took more than half. They took half of it, and there was a good chance they could have taken more, because that was only 2 Centaurs I was able to get in to swing on them. The third Centaur had to go and help out on another front because they couldn't pile in. And then the last observation I'll take away from this game is that the Hobgrot screening is just a necessity if you run into battle plans like this. If I didn't have Hobgrot screening at the start of this game, it probably would have been over by battle round 2, because you'd need it if you're in a battle plan that you're up close, or if you're facing an army that has, say, like a Kragnos that can throw a 3d6 charge, Slaves of Darkness, run and charge, chosen bricks coming out of the Silver Tower, all that sort of thing. I think you need 2 units of Hobgrots minimum to give you screening to let you play the majority of battle plans that are out, especially if you're going to play a 5-round or a 3-round tournament. For my list, personally, I think I would take 2 2x10, so the minimums for screening, and then I do like that 1x10 to be annoying on objectives. It may or may not make it into future lists. So overall, those are the key observations. Like I said, you're going to change battle tactic, reinforce with blunderbusses, keep the Centaurs in 3 in one game, and I'll try a game with 6 as reinforced, and drop down the Hobgrots to 2 to maybe 3. All right, I didn't quite make 5 minutes on the video, but we'll call it a 10-minute video and adjust the title slide for next time. If you did like this video, it's fun to engage in the comments. I do enjoy engaging in Reddit, the comments below. And hey, if you want to keep watching, subscribe, and I'll keep trying to send out videos. My next video is going to be next week. I'll do the weekend list review on Helsmiths lists that either went 5-0, 4-1, or 3-0. Maybe a 2-1 list, depending on how it should go. All right. Well, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.